A war that would be good for us is a war where we actually get stuff and would make us rich. Like a war that would make us rich is to go to war in Venezuela. And a lot of people are criticizing me. They're like, you don't understand. I understand perfectly. They have a lot of oil. We should fucking take it. We're the biggest country ever. We're the biggest and best country ever. They have all this oil and we're playing games. We're going to let this guy say, oh, you don't get our oil. Says fucking who? We will come in and we will kill all of you. Our military will come in and wipe out your regime and we will take your oil.
So Nick Fuentes made a stance in favor of the Venezuela situation, and his audience is now mad at him. This is surprising, considering the fact that he was in favor of US imperialism for a long time now. But what can you expect when most of his fans are from 6 months ago, Max, and they turn on him the first chance they get after hearing one of his million controversial takes?
The Western Hemisphere belongs to America. America is an empire. America has to act like an empire sometimes. To an extent, this hemisphere is important to us. America's strength comes from, to a large extent, the global economy, to the local economy. And so what happens in a lot of these countries affects us. Now, does that warrant America invading Venezuela and occupying Venezuela? Of course not. But there are different kinds of interventions. That's another little snag that people get confused. And so when we look at Venezuela, my take is, I'm generally non-interventionist, but I see here is a place where a little bit of American intervention can produce a good thing for American interest. We're not in favor of a ground war, anything excessive. All our allies, all our client states basically in the Western Hemisphere moved to condemn Maduro, and they endorsed the opposition candidate. And maybe this is what it takes to tip it in favor of the opposition, or maybe, there's some kind of military action also. Maybe there's airstrikes or whatever. If that could yield a government which is pro-Western, which is in favor of America, and then there, outside of Cuba and Bolivia, is no base of operations for our enemies in the Western Hemisphere, that's ultimately a good thing.
Here is Technate of America and his take. Norm is memorize the anti-war slogans without actually understanding the arguments against war. The reason the Iraq War was a mistake is because it cost trillions of dollars, killed thousands of soldiers, created a quagmire with no exit strategy, and wasn't even in our best interest. Hemisphere defense is in our best interest. This operation had 0 casualties, lasted hours and cost no money. You could make the case that invading Iraq was a war for Israel. But a coup in Latin America can convincingly be called a war for America. I just thought we were all on the same page. I cheered for Russia's invasion of Ukraine because that is a legitimate defense of Russian interests in its contested sphere of influence. I feel similarly about Venezuela.
Just take their shit. Get as many countries on our side of the ledger so that we can take their shit. I don't like these small-minded arguments where people say, anytime America uses its wealth and power, that's not America first. Well, what exactly is America first? Is the only thing that the military can do to patrol the border? And some people might say yes, but I would say no, we want to control our periphery. We want to control a sphere of influence. Is that not what every other country is doing? What is Russia doing? What is China doing?
He also clarified that it initially seemed like a solid operation to cleanly, bloodlessly, and quickly remove Maduro from power, but the regime change with US soldiers is overcommitment and a big mistake. And then he said that now that Venezuela has been liberated, we must send every single Venezuelan illegal, refugee, and criminal back home. Take the oil, remigrate the foreigners.